Yeah. You see that? The emotions coming out of me immediately like an angry dog. I'm snapping at you. Today I'm going to show you two different sides of me, Jekyll and Hyde. We've got two important topics that I really want to discuss. The first one is extremely positive and something I'm very passionate about and also would like your help with. And the second is extremely negative, something I'm very passionate about and nobody can help me with because the old US government decided to take me over their knee and spank my keister when I did nothing wrong. Now, before you start speculating, it has nothing to do with taxes. Uncle Sam ain't blasted my butt for that. It's something very different, and I'm blowing the lid off of this corruption here. It's gone on for far too long. And the NSA, I know you're watching, probably sweating right now. I know they got their ears listening to this. Well, you can't stop me now because I'm going to dive into it. But not quite yet. I want to quickly start with the positive thing that I'd like to discuss. A couple weeks ago, I started doing giveaways on stream, just giving viewers money. I started on Christmas because I thought it'd be kind of nice for anyone that didn't have a good Christmas to tell me what they wanted and didn't get, and I'd just pay for it for them. And I did it again last week for anyone that just needed money for something. And I've just been trying to brainstorm ways to make that a more fun stream experience. Like, I really enjoy doing it and I want to do more of it. I just want to make sure that it's a fun thing to watch as well. Right now, the current way that I'm doing it is I've had a friend of mine named JMac make a Google form, so during the stream it's just pinned to the top of the chat and whoever wants to like enter into it just submits there. They tell me the amount and what it's going to be used for and whatever message they want to send, and then the chat will just shout out a bunch of random numbers. Looks like some kind of hacking sequence out of the Matrix when we do these, but I'll just randomly choose one of those numbers that chat shouts out. I'll go to that form, read out the message, and then send the person the money. And then I do that for a couple hours, give away a couple $1,000s to a bunch of different people. And it's really, like, it makes me happy to do that because it just feels nice to be able to give back to a community that's been so supportive of my shit for so long. I'm just trying to think of ways of making this a more fun viewer experience on stream. Because right now it's mainly sitting silently or maybe shooting the shit with chat a little bit and then going to that forum and reading it out and then sending it. Like, there's not a whole lot of, like activity going on the stream itself, and I just feel like there's got to be a way of doing this in, like, a really exciting way. And I just haven't been able to come up with the right solution in my noodle right now. The main thing is I don't want it to be some kind of competition where people have to compete for that. Maybe that can be something different down the line, but for this, I'd rather it be something that everyone, of course, can participate in, and I just haven't been able to figure out exactly what that could look like at its best. So if anyone has any ideas, just comment them down below, and I'll definitely take a look there. But anyway, let's move on to the extremely negative topic that I really want to rant about because I've been fuming on it for days. I briefly touched on it on stream, but the more I marinate on it and the more I learn about this, the more I get upset. So I want to dive in even deeper. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know this, Moist Esports is one of the best Apex Legends teams in the world, and our squad comes from Australia. That's where they've been playing out of. But this split, we wanted to bring them to the United States of America, the land of the free, home of the brave, the place where the cheeseburger was invented and communism was prevented. Amen, brother. This is where Jesus Christ was born, and this is where Moist Esports is going to give birth to the biggest goddamn W the world's ever seen when it comes to Apex Legends. So, we began the visa process to get them over, and we submitted all of the necessary paperwork. We had all of our attorneys working through everything. We even collaborated with all of the other big organizations that have done similar things, and we're even doing similar things this split, and it was all smooth sailing. No hiccups, no bumps in the road. We started to put all our plans in motion. We had a place picked out for them here in Tampa. Also, we have our warehouse where they'd be playing out of. It all looked great. And then we got a request from the agent in the US government here that was handling our case, saying that he needed a little more information. And that's a little tedious because we submitted all the necessary paperwork and all the documents and everything that all the other orgs submitted and did not get a request for further information, but for some reason we were picked out for it, so it is what it is. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We went through the tedious process of providing even more insight to the things that they were requesting, and we put all that in and had to wait again. Now keep in mind, this is not a quick process by any means. The US government ain't exactly known for its speed. This shit isn't exactly kicking in the afterburners or anything. There's no NOS boosters when it comes to this process. So this is over the course of weeks. And that's crucial time because our team needs to get here so they can start practicing together in the American soil on our ping for this split, so that way they can be prepared for when the season starts in a couple weeks. So all of this long waiting period of them not being allowed here also prevented them from being able to practice here, which is, of course, detrimental. So it was stressful and a headache, but we got everything in. And then we got a message back from our agent, who, of course, is representing who is taking on our case and representing us and giving us either the thumbs up or thumbs down on whether or not our Australian professional gamers can come to this country to play professionally. And the answer was no, they cannot. So, huge round of applause for that guy. He just prevented 3 gamers from coming to this country and wreaking havoc. I don't know what else we could have possibly provided. We did everything every other org did and more and still got declined. So I don't know what else we could have done. Maybe we needed to get like some kind of testimonial from each of our players' ex-girlfriends to confirm that they're not a terrorist or something. I have no fucking clue. We were left in the dark, but the answer was no, which means we then had to start scrambling and get our Australians to Canada instead, so that way they could still play in this region, because obviously if they stayed in Australia, the ping differential is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a huge setback for them to be playing in the NA region while being in Australia. So obviously having them in Canada still puts them in the NA region, and it was our only option left at this point since the US immigration agent decided to spit in our face, and led to a lot of panic. But we eventually got them to Canada, where it was a lot smoother and more seamless. And then we eventually found out the reason for being rejected. And when I tell you that it is one of the most head-scratching explanations, I'm not exaggerating. It is so bafflingly, like, I can't even say frustrating, actually, because it's just laughable. It's comical that people like this are working in the positions they are, because it's very clear that the agent that had our case has no fucking clue what professional video games even means, or what video games even are, for that matter, is the impression that I got from all of this. I think what happened is he might have gone to Waltzy's Twitter and saw Waltzy throwing up 400 pounds with ease and just got afraid of him, thinking that he might be a national threat for being too strong. Like, that'd make more sense than what he gave us. I can't go into the finer details of it, obviously, because that might be a violation, but I'm going to give you a couple of the broad strokes. The one that had me actually giggle when Matt told me is that our agent didn't believe us when we said we were one of the top teams in the world. We submitted the official, rankings of everything and where we place in all of the majors as well as the World Championship and everything, and by every single metric, we are a top 15 team at least. By a lot of other calculations, we'd also be in the top 10. But basically, we just submitted that we are just one of the top teams and then gave all of the rankings and everything, and he didn't believe us. He thought we were lying, fundamentally. Something that he could easily confirm with a single Google search of just Moist Esports Apex and then look at our results and then just look at where we rank amongst all of the other teams. He could have easily verified this, but instead just didn't want to. Instead just said, nope, you're telling a fib, basically. So he fought us on that. Something that he himself could do with actually as little as 5 seconds on the keyboard. It's so fucking unbelievable that guy has that job and won't even do the bare minimum of just confirming something that he might be a little skeptical on, and would instead just say, nah, it's probably a lie. Craziness. Actually, lunacy. But what's even more insultingly ridiculous is one of the other big things that they slapped us for. In our initial filings, they stated that they didn't like one of our clauses in our player contracts. And that clause was that we let all of our players keep 100% of their earnings, through streaming and also through, winning prizes. I believe they were both lumped together, but I think they were held up on streaming in particular. At Moist Esports, we don't touch anything our players make through streaming or whatever they win in the games they compete in. We let them keep 100% of it. The old US immigration agent did not like that and took an issue with it, maybe with the way it was worded. So, when we resubmitted when they asked for more information, we switched it around basically at their request. Like, we changed around some of the wording, of course still not taking anything from players or anything like that, but we changed around like the wording that may have been a bit of a pressure point for them. And then we got slapped again because we changed the contracts at their request, basically. We did what they asked us to do with making these changes, and then that was a problem that they rejected us for. Like, we were damned if we did, damned if we didn't. It seemed like the US immigration agent that was handling our case here really wanted any reason at all to fuck us. We got in trouble for doing what we were basically asked to do, and then got punished for it. Again, it doesn't make sense. And when talking with all of the other big orgs that have gone through a similar process, I won't name any names here because, again, I don't know like how specific I'm even allowed to get with talking about this situation, but all of the other orgs had similar experiences, or at least knew of other orgs that had similar experiences, and it's just like a commonly accepted thing in this space that the US immigration is a fucking nightmare for it, and that they are needlessly nitpicky to the point where they will actually just ruin like an entire process for this. Apparently in Dota 2 this happens pretty frequently. It's craziness that it's still in this state. It's 2024. How can we not have people in these positions that understand professional video games? It's a massive fucking multi-billion-dollar industry. Esports has so much in it. How can the people that are still in charge of this process not know anything about it and do garbage like this? It's so frustrating. But anyway, the Apex team is now in Canada. We are still ready for the split. We are still competing in A here. And I'm very optimistic. Our team's already popping off. So it's still, we're still very happy. But it would have been a lot better if they were here in Tampa because we like having them around. They're friends. We play basketball together. We hang out. Like, it's fun when they're here. So it would have been great to have them in the actual United States. But that's off the table for now, and I just wanted to rant about that a little bit because it is disgusting how archaic this process seems to be. But anyway, I won't rant about it any longer because it may actually be extremely detrimental to do so, because then I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty, and that's probably not a good idea when it comes to the US immigration process. So yeah, wanted to talk about that a little bit. Eventually, hopefully, our Apex team will all be here in America playing together at the Moist HQ, the House of Hydration. But for now, they're going to be playing out of Canada, and yeah, really excited for the season. Of course, I will be watch partying the games, and that's about it. So yeah, I have had it up to here with US immigration. I want there to be no confusion. I think the US immigration process is a laughable, pathetic joke. In fact, it's not laughable because I'm not giggling. You don't see me spitting up with a smile on my face, kicking my feet in my high chair. It is terrible. Pardon my French, but it is poop. It is so unbelievably horrible. In particular, I am angry at one individual. Just one specific individual. The US immigration agent that's handling our case. But this individual is infamous in the esports scene for declining teams and people for the most ridiculously stupid reasons imaginable. A month ago, I made a video kind of going over the basics of what I'm going to be diving into deeper today. In a nutshell, our esports team, Moist Esports, has an Apex roster, and we're one of the best in the world. We are currently ranked 4th in A, with still another whole series to play. We're still a whole series behind the people around us, and we're still top 4. We're a fucking outrageous squad of maniacs out there. Some of the best talent Apex has ever seen. Our team came from Australia. Our plan for the season was to bring them to NA, where the competition is more fierce. NA is a powerhouse in Apex. So we brought them over to NA, and then at the very last second got rejected by US immigration, and they were declined entry into this country. So we had the last second pivot, change all of our plans, and get them to Canada so they could still play this split. So they're currently in Canada, and we've been actively trying to get them to the US. And I cannot overstate how much of a nuisance it was to get that rejection when we did, because it came at the very end of an extremely long, drawn-out, tedious process where just out of nowhere they decided to flip the switch saying, nope, actually, they're not welcome here, declined. And there's nothing we could have done to rectify it or change it. They just decided they didn't like us anymore, so they declined it fundamentally with no real reason. And since this is such a slow process, I swear to God, it might be one of the slowest things on the planet. US immigration moves slower than Robert De Niro in The Irishman. It is fucking disgraceful how awful the optimization is for this process. So all we could do was get them to Canada so they could still play this split here in NA like we had planned on. And while they're doing that, we're still trying to get them to the US. Now, initially, we didn't really understand why they were declined. All we knew is this sometimes happens in the esports scene. My little tinfoil hat theory was that the agent was afraid of Waltzy. Waltzy is one of our players, one of the best in the world, and he also happens to be a power lifter. So perhaps they were just worried that he'd pose a national security risk for being too strong, that he'd go around snapping Americans in half. All we could do was really speculate and resubmit, which we did. And now we've received a response from the resubmission forms, and after going through everything with lawyers and making sure it is as buttoned up as possible with all of the best in the industry, I am happy to say we are still fucking struggling because the agent is a geriatric fossil that is absolutely just out for some kind of vendetta. I think they might just hate the word moist. That's probably a very real possibility. But they have asked us to submit even more evidence and even more clarification on things, which ordinarily I would have no problem with. But we've already done this once. We did this song and dance last time, only to get rejected many weeks after doing that. This isn't a fast process. If it was fast, I wouldn't care. Be like, oh, okay, you need more papers, more documents, more clarification. Fine, we can provide all of that tomorrow. And hopefully hear from you in the next day or two. That's not how it works, because after we do submit all of those, further appeals for evidence, it takes weeks, multiple weeks, for them to respond, and they barely fucking look at what you submit, I feel. In the last video, I mentioned that our agent didn't believe us that we were placing so high, and they didn't bother to look into it at all. Well, that is another thing that is a fucking problem, because they still don't believe our placements. Our team crushes it at the majors, and we were number 12 at the World Championship, and one of the things they need clarification on is why they should believe us that those placements are real or important. You rat bastard, what do you mean? We are submitting the official standings, the official placements for these majors and the World Championship. What do you mean you don't trust that? What? Actually, I wasn't there, so I didn't see it. I can't. This must be a fucking lie. Fly yourself out to the next fucking major and watch us then. Like, what do you mean? It's crazy how they can just pull that out of their ass. Like, oh, why should we believe the official standings? Ridiculous. You thought you could pull a fast one on US Immigration? No, sir. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. But that's not the one I want to get hung up on. I'm actually going to just read this to you verbatim. I'm not going to show you it because that might be a legal issue. But I absolutely just have to put this out here. I feel like I'm in the loony dimension reading this shit. I am convinced that there's not a human being on the other side of this conversation. I believe that our lawyers have been contacted and communicating with Cleverbot, who is for some reason representing the US Immigration Services. It is so outrageously dumb. So you're going to need a little context behind this before getting into it. So when bringing the team to the land of the free, home of the brave, we were instructed to have a high-ranking EA official kind of glaze us to help convey to the U.S. Immigration Services that our team is internationally significant to this scene. Now, when it comes to getting teams over here, this is what every esports org has to do. They have to convince the immigration services that their team is highly competitive, a top team that is worthy to come over here and start bleeding cheeseburgers like a true red-blooded American. So that's what we were doing, and we had a high-ranking EA individual kind of talking on our behalf. And again, this is something that the U.S. Immigration Services, wanted. They didn't fucking believe that he's actually a real official. So let me read this to you. Written statement from an official of the sports governing body, which is who we were talking to. You may submit evidence from an official of the sports governing body describing how the athlete or team is internationally recognized. The evidence you submitted is insufficient. You submitted a testimonial from, redacted, I'm not going to drop their name, about the beneficiaries, redacted, is a senior manager at Electronic Arts, EA. But USCIS cannot determine that his position is considered an official of a governing body in esports. Additionally, he mentioned that the beneficiaries have had high placements in several competitions in the ALGS Year 3 season. However, USCIS cannot determine how the placements constitute as international reputation. As previously discussed, ALGS does not appear to require athletes or teams with international reputation to participate in the competitions. As such, there's insufficient evidence to demonstrate that having such placements in ALGS competitions equate to international reputation. You may still submit evidence to satisfy this criterion. I'm going to have a conniption. Excuse me. Still playing with cash registers, huh, Squiddy? What kind of place is this? You wanted us to prove that our placements were real, and we had a high-ranking EA, who, of course, they own Apex, represents that side, talk on our behalf to confirm that the placements are real. But you don't believe that that official, whom you even cite their position in this statement, actually represents them? Is actually part of the official governing body of the esport? How can you not believe them? You even cite their position in your statement, a position that constitutes the esports side. What do you mean? And then you say that the placements don't necessarily mean international reputation? What the fuck does then? How could any team possibly get into the country through this game if even the highest placements don't constitute international reputation to satisfy your criterion? It doesn't make any fucking sense. The agent here is well known in the esports scene because we've talked to numerous other orgs. And all of them have had to deal with this person, and all of them have horror stories about them. So much so that the majority of them have found ways to circumvent ever having to deal with them and going through other people. That is how bad at their job this person is. A job that is extremely important and carries a lot of weight for so many people, and this absolute brain-dead goober can't be bothered to do the bare minimum of just activating a few neurons up here to even process what the fuck they're saying. Or what they're asking for. And when we submit the evidence that satisfies sufficiently what they want, they still are not accepting it for inexplicable reasons. That is not a reason what they've given there. How can you not believe that one of the highest ranking officials at EA for this area is not trustworthy or insufficient or doesn't represent the governing body? That is mind-bogglingly silly. It has to be malicious. It has to be malicious. No one can be this stupid on accident and have this job. Again, this is a job that is extremely important. And you have someone this incompetent there? I don't believe it. This has to be on purpose. Not only have we been working with lawyers who specialize in this area, but we have been working with other orgs who have successfully gone through this process, albeit it seems they've done it with other individuals. Not this fucking womp from Super Mario 64 that we've unfortunately been cursed with over there at the US Immigration Office. This is craziness. How one person can just say, I just don't really feel like bothering to look into this at all, so I'm just going to say you're lying. I'll ask for more evidence and then not read it, and fuck you. That's absolute insanity. Even when we fulfill it to a T and bring in an extremely high-ranking EA official to speak on our behalf to our achievements in the scene, they still won't even accept that. What else can we do? Like, what else is there to do besides just somehow get a different agent, resubmit again, and pray, fingers crossed, we don't encounter this scourge? It's just ridiculous. I had to rant about this again after I was shown why we've been requested further information for the fucking, third time now, after being rejected. It's... Oh my lord. What in tarnation? I cannot believe how awful this process is. Truly awful. And nonsensical. So yeah, I just had to rant about this. Again, there's your little Moist Esports update for our Apex team. Our Apex team is fucking crushing it. Gonna be watch partying their next game this Saturday. Hopefully more big dubs on the way. Our team is absolutely going fucking ballistic, so I love to see that. It's always a lot of fun. Feel free to stop into the streams. And hopefully pretty soon, they can eventually come to the United States, like we had planned on many months ago. So, yeah. That's really about it. So, yeah. I look like a crazy person right now. I just got back from the gym because I needed to blow off some steam. Fair warning, I'm about to start screaming and spitting. This is probably the most emotion you will ever see from me. I'm about to get animated like a Pixar character, red in the face with steam coming out of my ears, because I am infuriated. I am livid. I've made a couple videos bringing you up to speed on a situation I've been dealing with US Immigration. In a nutshell, our esports team, Moist Esports, has one of the best Apex rosters in the world right now. We're second place in A, and we're in a really good position to win the Major. But the Major is happening on US soil, and the red-blooded patriots at US Immigration refuse to let our team come in. Our team is Australian. So we were initially declined and had to pivot, get them to Canada so they could compete in A, this split. And we resubmitted, and our resubmission has just been declined again for legitimately no real reason, because the fucking glue-eating, crack-smoking, coke-snorting, lobotomite morons at US Immigration just don't want them in the country for whatever reason they're drumming up here. We have been working with the best lawyers in the industry, the best lawyers on this fucking planet that specialize in this field, and none of them can believe that we've been declined again. They've never had these issues before, so they're as stunned as we are. We even have one of the highest level executives at EA going to bat for us with US Immigration, lobbying for us to try and get our team in here because our team is very important to the esport because we are so highly ranked. And even with the goddamn Avengers on our side, US Immigration slams the door in our face and turns us away like it's a lacrosse house party in college. They're Australian gamers. We're not trying to sneak in fucking Viltrumite aliens. What is the issue? Gadzooks, I would hate to meet our US Immigration agent in real life. It'd be like meeting Voldemort. It'd be like meeting Scrooge. Like an absolute joyless fucking husk of a zombie. It can't even be a real soul. There's no way there's a human being that's handling our case. It's not possible. Because there is no reason we would keep being declined. They're not even giving us reasons that make any sense at all. Not to us, not to the lawyers, not to anybody. Nobody. And no other esports team has had this problem. Every other org that has international players got in lickety-split. They fucking speedran it. Meanwhile, we can't. We literally can't. I'm convinced that if Jesus Christ resurrected right now, US Immigration would turn him away. He wouldn't be allowed in here. We'd never see him. Now let me slow down real quick, because maybe you guys aren't understanding why this is such a big deal. Our team is one of the best in the world. And this major is huge. It's massive. And obviously, we're very passionate about this game and this esport. So they need to get into the country to play in this major, because it's an in-person LAN. They can't compete from Canada. It's happening in America, the home of the fucking cheeseburger and the Budweiser. It's happening here. So they need to be here physically to compete in it. No holograms, no force ghosts, no AI, duplicate, replicants, nothing. It's got to be them, flesh and blood, which is off the table now. I think a lot of people had a bit of confusion with the last video I made about this, because the Apex boys, our team, has been in America before. We've even made videos together with them at our warehouse. But there's a difference, because they were only here for like 2 weeks. I think it was even less than 2 weeks. And then the major was overseas. So they weren't here for a long time. This time around, we needed a different process because they were going to play the whole split in A. So it needed to go through an entirely different procedure to allow them to stay here for that period. And since we keep getting declined, they are now no longer allowed to just come here temporarily. All of that's halted because they're under our Moist Esports blanket. Now they can't come here just for like that 2 weeks or anything. It's totally different. It's all changed, which is why we had to work with so many lawyers to try and get this process moving, and we just kept getting declined. So now they can't come into the country for this major. They couldn't even show up on the day to compete. Plus, they wouldn't want to do that anyway because they want time to practice, obviously. So that leaves us with only one fucking option left, and that's to cut our team. We have to release one of the best teams in the entire Apex circuit, because that's the only way they're going to be allowed in the country. They can come here as long as they're not being represented by us. As long as they are not represented by any org right now, they can come here and compete. So that's our only option, because we obviously want the best for these guys. We want them to shine at the major. So in order to do that, we have to let them go. It's like that fucking scene in Pokemon where Ash sets down the Pikachu and runs away crying. That's us. That is literally what we have to do with our team right now. We have to cut them so that way they can compete at the major. Because we're out of time. We can't resubmit again because this process is abominably fucking slow. Weeks just to get 2 sentences back from the US Immigration dinosaurs, the fucking fossils that are just bones and dust in those chairs at the agency there. Like, we can't do this again because we don't have time. The major is right around the corner. So, we are officially releasing the Moist Apex squad. Unfortunately, we got the bad ending to this fucking playthrough here. And it's no fault of our own, by the way. We did everything by the books. We worked with other orgs, too, and so many different lawyers that specialize in this. And we did everything right. And still got slapped by US Immigration raid bosses. Ridiculous. So, I actually cooked up a theory. One that a couple of lawyers actually agreed with me on as the most likely culprit for why we kept getting declined and are still currently rejected. Our name. I hypothesized this in the last video I made, but I wasn't entirely subscribing to that belief until now. The name Moist Esports may have had a role in us being rejected. May be the only reason we were rejected. At US Immigration, it all falls onto your particular agent. It is entirely their discretion whether or not you are allowed entry into the country with whatever you're submitting and whatever you're doing. You have an individual agent that handles your case. It is highly possible, and according to some lawyers, not unusual, for them to decline things based on very trivial reasoning. And they never conveyed that the name was an issue to us, by the way. That would be something that's so petty that they probably would never put it in writing because it's fucking embarrassing and shameful. But it is possible that the name Moist is the reason why. Because moist is a word that is a little yucky to people, makes them feel a little icky. So whoever was handling our case maybe just really didn't like that word, didn't take us seriously, and said, nope, we won't be dealing with them. Fuck them. And I think that's the most likely possible explanation for this at the moment. Because there's nothing else. There is actually nothing else that could have possibly gone awry in this process on our end. I hope the ghoulish heathen in charge of our case is proud of themselves for this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just yanking your chain. The only thing I hope for the urinal cake that handled this case is that they get fired. That is the only solace I will find here, is if I learn that at some point whoever took this case is let go from US Immigration because the country would be much better for it. I think they are so bad at their job that it borders on being criminal. Like, they should be charged with treason for how poorly they've handled this case. 6 months. 6 months of work. Well, a little less than 6 months. And never once did they give us a real reason for why we were declined. The reasons they gave us were nonsensical. And when we were inquired for more information to rectify those problems, we submitted above and beyond the requirements, and still got declined numerous times. I think this whole experience should be pretty eye-opening to a lot of people out there, to the blatant corruption in US immigration. Like, this is so bad that it's almost comical. Like, if it wasn't so incredibly detrimental to our organization, I would probably find it laughable. Like, that's how awful, horrible it is, and how bad of a state US immigration is in. Like, just take a step back and really analyze this. The best lawyers in the world that specialize in this field in particular were unsuccessful in getting squeaky clean Australian gamers into the country, even when the game they're competing in has the highest level executives saying to US Immigration, no, they need to be here, they should be here. All of these extremely powerful parts working together to try and get them into the country, and they couldn't do it multiple times. Now imagine that for someone normal. Just normal, average Joes trying to get into the country and they have to deal with US Immigration. What fucking hope is there? What chance do you have? That's going to be like a 20-year process bare minimum. That's inexcusably awful. What a broken fucking machine. The ice cream machines at McDonald's work better than the US immigration process. It's so fucking stupid. I'm actually hitting a full-blown Porky Pig Scatman right now. I'm getting so heated. Like, it's an insult to the word stupid. Moonfall, Madam Web, The Room, that's stupid. This, it's on a whole new level. It's in a different dimension, the fucking sixth dimension of stupidity. It's a whole new ballgame. Like the fucking poop farter that handled our case. It's giving me a headache. I'm actually going caveman braid. I'm becoming Cro-Magnon man right now. Just call them a fart pooper or whatever. Like, it's just, I'm running out of words in the English language to express the frustration at how incompetent this whole process has been on their end. So yeah, anyway, we had to release our Apex team. They will still be competing at the Major, God willing, unless the immigration agent himself turns up and fucking puts the kibosh on it himself, forms like a brick wall of meat and won't let them pass, physically imposing himself on them. But anything shy of that. The boys will be on American soil competing at the major, but they are no longer our team. We had to cut them in order for that to happen. We will, of course, still be cheering for them. We, of course, still want them to win because they deserve it. I think they are the best team in Apex, and I'm still very excited to watch them play, but it really fucking hurts that it's not Moist Esports that they're competing under anymore. Thanks, US Immigration. Fuck you. Yep, that's really about it. See ya. The title's not clickbait, I am actually suing US Immigration. I'm sure a lot of you already know the reason why, but let me catch you up to speed for those of you that might not know the lore. So, hop on in, let me take you on a little adventure here through this infuriating journey of dealing with US Immigration Department, and in particular, one Whippets-addicted, bedwetting homunculus agent there that absolutely just had a grudge against our esports organization, Moist Esports. I swear to God, if anime was real, I'd have enough rage against the US Immigration Department to finally go Super Saiyan. I cannot stand how corrupt that agency is. I've already made 2 videos having a conniption about it and losing my mind like a caveman who discovered fire for the first time, but what I discovered is just pure, rotten to the core, blatant corruption. I've explained the situation in great detail, but I'll give you the very short explanation for it. Our esports Apex squad consists of 3 Australians and 1 American. The 3 Australians were denied entry into this country multiple times over the course of 6 months. One of the reasons they gave us was they didn't believe they were as highly ranked as we stated they were, even though we gave them all of the leaderboards, the official standings, and they could also just Google that if they didn't believe us. But we even had an EA official, one of the highest ranking executives at EA, lobby for us and write on our behalf about how important our team is to the esports for Apex because we are so highly ranked. And US Immigration didn't believe that that guy was a real authority. He thought he was like the fucking Satchmo or something. Like, the guy didn't exist. They just wiped their ass with that guy's entire resume, just writing him off as some kind of make-believe EA cryptid. We fought a losing battle against US Immigration. The reasons were so fucking silly, and it prevented our team from coming into the country, which upended our entire plans of having them here for the Split 1. Luckily, we got them into Canada. They played all of Split 1 in Canada, and they finished second. So that means they qualified for the biggest tournament, which is the Apex LAN Major, which is happening right now in LA. But since we were denied so many times, they couldn't actually get to LA, which left us with only one option, which I was fucking freaking out about in the last video, where we had to release our team. Because they couldn't come to the US under our umbrella, the Moist Esports umbrella. We had to release them for them to even have a chance at playing at that LAN. But boy howdy, wouldn't you know it, that didn't work. They were denied ESTA visas. If any of you are foreign and have ever been to America, you know what an ESTA is. It's like a 99% success rate with getting an ESTA visa. Almost no one gets declined. You have to be like a notorious terrorist to get your ESTA visa declined. Fucking Osama bin Laden might have even been able to get an ESTA. That is how easily accessible those are. Yet, 2 out of 3 of our Australians were denied ESTAs. So only one of them, Imti, was allowed to come in on an ESTA, which means he got here while the other 2 couldn't. That's inexplicable. Why were 2 of them rejected, but Imti's was accepted? They were in the same boat, and yet for some reason, it was him that was okay, but the other 2, no, they're in fucking danger. You guys are trying to smuggle in Romulans or something to take over America from the inside out. The land of the free and the home of the fuck me in the face. Like, that is inexplicably stupid. Like, if all 3 of them got rejected, then maybe they had found something, but no, that didn't even happen. They rejected 2 out of 3. So what the fuck could the reason for that possibly be? We speculated it's because they reapplied for ESTAs even though they still had like a little time left on their previous ones, so maybe that flagged it in their system. But that might not be it because MT still got through but the other 2 didn't. It's stupid. Super stupid. So that made an even bigger problem because getting denied an ESTA means you're basically shit out of luck. So we were going to have to play, they were going to be playing this major with only 2 out of 3 of their players and no coach because 2 of them just couldn't get in. So, we were pretty much out of options. By this point, our team hadn't been playing together for fucking weeks. Because Waltzy and Kyle, the Australians that were declined, were still unable to make it into America. So in a last-ditch Hail Mary effort, we applied for B1 visas, which I think probably some of you have heard of before. And in order to do those, that's an in-person interview with like the actual embassy. And to be able to actually talk to somebody here is huge, because when you're dealing with US immigration, you're talking to soulless androids that do not want to be there and do not do their job at all. But we were able to set up appointments for a B1 visa interview for both Kyle and Waltzy in Lisbon. So we had to fly them over the course of like 3 days, mind you, from Canada to Lisbon to sit down for that interview. They nailed the interview. They got their B1 visas. We then had to fly them from Lisbon to America, all in the span of only a couple of days. And they finally touched down in this God-blessed patriotic country 2 days ago, where they could finally play together as a team. So as you can imagine, since they hadn't played together in so fucking long, the cohesion was a little rough around the edges, because US immigration slapped us so hard a biblical smackdown to try and ruin our chances of winning this major, of which they are one of the top competing teams in the tournament and one of the favorites to win it all. US immigration did everything possible to make it unwinnable, and yet our team is defying fate. We played today, our final group, and we were able to not only place first on the day with 62 points, but we were able to lock down winner's side. I keep saying we. This mysterious squad known as Not Moist was able to, against all the odds that US immigration stacked against us, lock down winner's side for tomorrow. And I couldn't be more proud of this group of gentlemen, of which I am not associated with on any paperwork whatsoever. They are not our team. They literally are not our team, but I am still very proud of this group. Through all of this adversity that was entirely unnecessary, unwarranted, unjust, and, dare I say it, potentially illegal, they have still risen to the occasion to perform so fucking well. I want to show you clips from that, but as the title of the video would indicate, I am suing US immigration. We, Moist Esports, are suing US immigration. We've talked with our lawyers and they agree that this is very mysterious how it ever even got to this point. It seems like there were quite a few no-nos that were committed here, and some protocol that wasn't followed, and a lot of just big red flags, like some big problems, and it just really seems like the US immigration agent handling our case either didn't like us, or just really didn't feel like doing their job. That's kind of the impression we're getting, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest some bad things that were afoot here that really made it fucking impossible for us to get our players into the country. And we eventually had to drop them, which is of course a huge blow to our organization as a whole. So we are suing them, and you know what I've learned through this lawsuit process? It turns out that there is corruption built into the US Constitution itself, where even if we're successful in beating the US immigration in this lawsuit, they cannot pay us out any damages, of which there is a lot. This has been a super expensive process, and there's also so much lost income here because there's so much money on the line for this tournament, as well as just so many potential eyes on our organization, as well as all of the legal fees. It's so much money that went into this, all of which was just burned thanks to US immigration fucking us. And no matter what happens with the lawsuit, they will not pay us back a penny at all. Now, the biggest thing that can happen from the lawsuit if we win is they overturn their decision of rejecting the Australians, which is great. That is a happy ending for sure. But it was alarming to learn that the US government is not liable for any of these damages that they were directly responsible for us, in regards to us. That's kind of crazy to me. So what possible incentive do the workers at US Immigration have for even doing their job in the first place if no matter what happens, they don't suffer any losses? So it turns out people sue the US Immigration Office pretty often, and it doesn't look like they fight that frequently or fight that hard. Very rarely does a US immigration lawsuit go to trial, apparently, because they're more than willing to just settle because they lose nothing. They lose nothing by not doing their job. They can't lose money. All they do is just overturn a decision, which I guess is super easy for them, perhaps. So they just have no problem settling. So, what possible reason is there for any of the workers at US Immigration to even take their job seriously? We also can't even go after our agent in particular who mishandled this case, because to do that, we would have to pierce the corporate veil of the US fucking government. We would have to go through Uncle Sam to get to that agent, which is not happening. That is an unwinnable battle. So the individuals are protected as well. So let's say you had an agent at US Immigration that's just racist. By all possible definitions, he's just racist and is declining people because he doesn't like their skin color. Well, too fucking bad. That person is probably not getting fired because they don't seem to care, and you can't do anything against that person because they are protected by US Immigration blanket. And US Immigration isn't liable for any damages. The best they'll do is overturn a decision. So you're just kind of shit out of luck across the board. Like, it's worth suing US Immigration to get that decision overturned if we win, but I am stunned at how deep and rotten the system is. It is so fucking broken. It is a joke. It is a joke. But anyway, I can't get into specifics here. I'll just leave it at all of these, more general statements about this case. I'll of course keep all of you updated through this legal process. But for now, let's end on some good news. Because like I said, our team, even in spite of all this bullshit, has popped off and secured winner's side going into tomorrow. I would love to see all of you come out there to support our squad for the watch parties. I'll be streaming it here on YouTube as well as on Twitch at Moist Critical. So please stop by, cheer on the squad, give them your energy like a giant spirit bomb. And let me just show you our final game for the day, where we actually fucking steamrolled every squad and secured winner's side. Okay, holy fuck, yeah, get the fuck out there. Nice flush. Please, knock him. Nice. Good arc stars. Flush. Oh, he's so low. Yeah, just push that. Just fucking push that. Nice, knocked.
I'm sliding with you.
Good shit. Hey. That's 4 points. We got 100. Alright. Now let's get some insurance. This is so sneaky. This is devilish. Yep, here we go. This is the perfect third party time. How did we not down him? Nice, Waltzy. Oh fuck, it's a different team. He's so low, finish him! Nice, alright. Swap, get the fuck out. Oh, nice, this is good points.
Down low ground. Come up the hill. Okay.
That was such a good call! Aggressive calls! Finally, let's go!
Our nut is God's spot.
That is when we do our best work. Aggressive calls.
I don't have bail. I think there's a team fighting right here that we can do.
Disengage. Guild knocked one. Good shit. You don't have to fully commit. Come on, get that bat off. Oh, fuck! Oh god, okay. There's so many teams here now. Just survive for some extra placement points, Waltzy, please, God. No! Holy shit. What the fuck? How? Waltzy! You fucking madman! You diabolical scoundrel! He did it! Holy shit! A reset! A fucking reset? In this day and age! Oh my god, there's so many! Get out, Waltzy! Fuck, please! Yeah, just push him off. Yeah, just relax. We can just farm some easy placement points here if we just don't overheat. Oh my god! Let's fucking go! Do it! Kill him! Do it now.
On our roof again. Can I skynate these guys? I don't know. Maybe.
How many grenades do we have? Oh, Jesus.
No tags. Okay, man. We're still in. Scanning, yeah. Here we are.
Yeah, fuck, the nut is still here. It's the god nut!
Well, there's a north. That's one thing. We can kill them. Come with me. Can we swim together, please?
Well, hold on. Wait for the bat. We don't have to go yet. Just wait for bat. Alright, now go. Now we can swing it. That looks like a good arc star. That pushed him off. Nice.
Ulting now, ulting now, ulting now.
The thermite got. Nice. Ticking.
Good casticle. They're gonna run us.
Yep, they're gonna run at us. Just methodical play. Very methodical play. Let's go, boys. Come on. Fucking come on. Please, please, please. He's so low. He's so low. Nice, Walty. Nice, Walty. He's got 2. That's 2 knocks. Nice! Fucking huge! Oh, they're going ballistic! Yes! And we're all red again? And we still have God Nut? Yes! It's all happening! Flesh. Holy shit, Waltzy's deep. But I like it. Nice, Guild knocked him. Yeah, just go back to Nut.
There's a team evacuating. Maybe going for our Nut. No, it's a duo, it's a duo, it's a duo. We killed that third. Team up here.
That's true, Walty did kill their third.
I'm healing,
Indoors. 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 Take it away, Waltzy. Man, imagine if he just got 2 knocks off that Q. That'd be fucking crazy. Yeah, just smoke him out. Just smoke him out. Are they gonna have to move before us? I think so. I think they're gonna have to move before we do. Come on, MT. Come on, MT. He's so low. Oh, fuck that grenade. Please, Guild. Please, Guild. Yes, Guild! You're so clutch. You're so clutch. Above you, above you. That's fine. Hey! We'll take that. What a finish. What a finish. Alright, great day. That should secure winner's side. I think we're locked. We really only needed like 3, and I think we got like 30. That was a fucking heater. They dropped that full meat on him there. That was big. That was a big one. That was a Keanu Reeves tied to a chair moment from Knock Knock. You came into my house and you fucked me. Yeah, I think 118 should be set. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I think we should be set. Oh yeah, another 12 kills, second place, 21 point Stinkarooski. Yes, sir. Fucking stink maxing out here. Love that. So that's winner's side, baby. Winner's side secured. Where did we finish on the day? We had to have finished first. I'm pretty sure we got first on the day here.
To make the difference. Let's see as we look at our series.
I keep saying we, but it's not my team. The not moist squad, whom I become a huge fan of. 62 on the day, first place. That team's they've got that X factor. No, their logo's pretty similar to ours, admittedly, but it's a little different. We are locked for winner's side. There isn't enough points left for any teams to pass us. So we're good. We did it. We locked winners.
Apex!
Walty!
Gotta do a better job next time. I am here with one of the greatest.
The caster is
players, not to
afraid
mention
being
the
next to a man
strongest
that
player
big.
probably in ALGS
God, look at Waltzy, he's a
history.
monster.
Waltzy, it's been a heck of a year for you guys. You guys moved from APAC to NA. How's the transition been?
Honestly, it was a lot of fun, to be honest. Picking up Guild and taking on like a way harder region was just like, I don't know, it's like something that you kind of dream of, you know, moving to NA and playing against the big boys all the time. So it was definitely fun. That's what I'd say.
Tell them about the American dream. How much do you love being on American soil?
Changes, right?
Huh? How great was that,
You've
right?
had to overcome a
Yeah.
lot, right, over the past couple weeks. How have the boys been for that?
It's definitely been like ups and downs. Obviously visa issues and stuff like that is just unnecessary pressure just leading up to LAN, but I think we coped pretty well, and I think as you guys saw today, we're still the same team that we were a couple weeks ago, so I
Amen.
think we're doing well.
Hey,
Absolutely
fucking man.
built different. I mean, old Oregon owner Charlie is watching right now. Do you have any words for Charlie?
Just big love, man. Just cannot stress enough how accommodating he has been for us, and genuinely, like, everyone at Moist has just been a rock for us. You know, this was a very stressful situation.
Was.
They did the
Past
absolute
tense, not
most for us,
currently.
so I can't say thank you enough.
Absolutely.
Was.
Crowd, make some noise for one of
Past
the
tense,
best
they
in the
are not our
world.
team right now. Man's trying to get deported.
Take it
Jesus.
away.
Thank you, peeps. Always
What a fucking day,
pleasure
though.
to see what you
What a
got
day.
going on. Wherever we send the camera.